morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and welcome back to another Throwback Friday. This one's number 10. Right, so today I've got a really lovely video to start off with. It is called A Whips, Bits and Chat number 4. Now in this issue, this episode, I'm basically telling you the story about how I got my name and how the Poppy challenge actually came about. Now this is the third year now that I'm actually making the poppies, but of course first year there was over 1,000 made, second year there was only 200 made due to COVID. This year I'm aiming for the 1,000 plus a few more if I have time. Right, so let's pop over, let's have a look at this video. I'm going to now run off and watch it because I need to remember what I actually spoke about for the duration of the film, and then I'll tell you any extra bits that I can think of at the end. See you in a bit. Hello my crazies, my name's Angela and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady. So today I thought I would pop on and give you a little bit of information about me. So first item is, how did I get my name? Well, as some of you know, I've took on the challenge last year of making 1,000 poppy brooches for the Royal British Legion in the UK. Now, I hadn't been crocheting a great deal of time then, and I was sort of stitched up slightly by my husband. So, here's how the story went. It was just after Christmas, and I was using up some leftover red and green yarn that I'd had left over from the Christmas decorations. Now, I man the tables just before November the 11th. I'll be down there and I'll man them and I'll be helping to sell the poppies basically. Now I've been doing that I'd been doing that for 4 years by this point, and we have a beautiful group of knitters locally who make poppy brooches, but the knitted version, and these things are gorgeous but they're massive. And a gentleman came up to the table one day and was looking at the poppies, and he said they're a beautiful idea and he'd really like one of them, but they're a bit too feminine for him. And so he picked up his paper poppy and he picked up a pin and popped his money in and off he went. So of course that got my mind ticking over. I'd only been crocheting for a short amount of time, so I'd kept going crocheting, but I kept coming back to this same idea. I wonder if I could crochet a poppy brooch that's about the same size as the paper ones, and then maybe some chaps would wear them too, and they wouldn't have to worry if it was raining during the service that their poppy was going to just wilt or shrivel up. So after Christmas I was sitting down and I'd flick through Pinterest trying to find patterns, and I was searching absolutely everywhere online that I knew of at that point, which wasn't many places at all really. So I'm searching and I finally come across this poppy pattern by a beautiful lady over in Australia, and she'd put the pattern up and she'd said, if you make them, please don't make them for profit, please donate money to your local legion. So I was like, let's give this one a go. Well, the poppy itself was written in English terms, and I'd only ever crocheted anything in American terms. So I've sat there and I'm like, right, I need to work this out. I need to change the pattern so that I understand it. So that's where the crazy speak comes from, that I sometimes pop in, like in my notes, maybe not on my videos, but my notes, it's a lot more shorthand than what I put on screen. So I managed to change the pattern up, and I'm sitting there and I'd crocheted about 3 or 4 before my husband came through the door at the end of work, and he looks over, he goes, what are you making? And I'm like, oh, I'm making some poppy pins, like poppy brooches, with this leftover yarn. There was only like 50 grams I think of the red left, because they're only little ones from Aldi. And he's like, oh, how many have you made? And I was like, well, I've made about 3 or 4. He's gone, how many do you think you get? Right, hopefully about 20. He's gone, all right, and he's toddled off and sort of shouted out, do you want a brew or whatever, and left me to crochet. And about 10 to 15 minutes later he came in and he had that twinkle in his eye. You know that twinkle, the one where someone's got an evil idea. Who goes to me, babe, do you think that you'd be able to make 100 of those poppies if I bought all of the stuff you needed? So I was like, well, I've got until November and it's only January. Go on then. So I accepted his challenge of 100. And I've carried on crocheting. So then I've had to go and pick up my daughter from school. So when I'm coming in, I'm telling her about the poppies that I'd made throughout the day, and that her dad was going to cover the costs of all the stuff I needed for the 100. He shouts out from his office, "Don't listen, kid, she's lying. She agreed to 500. So I'm there and I'm like, all right, okay, well, I've managed to get 6 done today. Can I do it? And a bit of maths in my head, and I thought, no, I can do that. So I've gone, go on then, but that means you're coughing up for a lot more yarn and a lot, and the decent poppy brooches, none of them stupid safety pin things. I want proper brooches. And he's gone, go on then, I'll do that. And he starts typing on his computer, and he's like, right, well, I've found somewhere, so I'll order them in. So of course he's managed to find somewhere where I can get the poppy brooches in bulk, but he hadn't told me that at that point. And then which way round was it? Yeah, it was my daughter. No, yeah, my daughter phones up and she's chatting away to me, and I'd said about the poppy brooches, and I was laughing about how her dad had stitched me up to make 500. To which he comes into the room, because she's on chat, like face-to-face chat, and he goes, she's lying, kid, she agreed to 1,000. So I'm like, oh flipping heck, I'm not a fast crocheter, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Bit more maths, worked out, yep, I could do it. So I've gone, all right, fine, that means you're coughing up for 1,000 poppy brooch backs. And he's gone, yep, no worries, and the yarn. And off he's toddled, laughing away. And my daughter's there and she's cracking up. She's like, Mum, he's going to keep stitching you up. You're going to have to put an end to this. And I've gone, it's all right, I've got an idea. Off you toddle, I need to get on with it. So she's popped the call, like we finished the call off, and I've taken a picture of the poppies that I'd made them look really presentable, and stuck the photo up on YouTube with the caption saying, my husband's challenged me to make 1,000. Has anyone got any leftover yarn from Christmas that they don't want to use in the red, the green and the black? I'd really appreciate it to help me keep costs down, because they're all getting donated. And I've posted it, and I thought, right, that's it, I'm fine now. So about a couple of hours later, my mum phones up, and I'm telling her about how he stitched me up, and how he stitched me up at each stage with each child. He walks in, he shouts out, she's lying. She said she was going to do 5,000. And my mum's there on the phone, laughing away, encouraging him, because she does that, by saying stuff like, I know she's a bit of a fibber, isn't she, and I know she could do 5,000. And I'm going, Mum, shut up. And she's cracking up down the end of this phone. And he's going, yeah, and they're teaming it, and they're trying to get me to do 1,000. And I just got my tablet, showed him the post that was on Facebook, and went, no, I've agreed to 1,000. So that's how the story of the challenge came up and happened. And then it sort of rolled a bit. And one of my local shops, absolutely beautiful shop it is, they collect in yarn for the local knitting group, who do a lot of charitable stuff, and they make beautiful little things like little chicks and egg holders and things for Easter, and other bits and pieces, and that raises money for lots of local charities. So they collect the wool in for those ladies, and one of the ladies had sent them the link to my post. Right, well, the lady that owns the shop stuck a post up, like a reply underneath the post, saying, people, you can drop your wool in here, Angela will come and pick it up from here. And I was like, thank you very much, because then that saved me having to put the crochet down to answer messages, because I'd started getting a few people saying like, what's your address, or can you pick it up? So this way it meant when people were popping into the local high street, they could just pop into the shop and drop it in. Like, I get a message and she says, right, your first collection of wools in. And I was like, right, I'll come and get it. So I've toddled into the shop, and she's got a big fat grin on her face, and she says, right, well, one of the girls came in and handed over this bag of yarn and says, here, I'll give this to that crazy poppy lady. And that's it. When I heard the phrase, that crazy poppy lady, I just thought, well, that suits me, because I'm crazy, really crazy, extremely crazy, and I make millions of poppies. So yeah, that's how my name came to me. But the thing is, I still don't know who that lady is to this day. She didn't want to say, she didn't want me to know, just in case it upset me. So if you are watching this, you named me, and I really appreciate it, and I love my name. Right, so a little bit more about me. I only started crocheting in October 2018. My friend had tried to teach me previously by teaching me a granny square, but because of my short-term memory issues, having her repeat it 30 times really started to wind her up, and I could see that, although she was trying, bless her, not to get wound up. So I'd put the hooks down, and we carried on drinking and having a laugh. So a few months after that, I was like, no, I want to try this. I want to see if I can do it. I don't like being beaten by a craft. So I popped to my local charity shop and managed to pick up a 3.5mm hook. And then I popped to the pound shop and I picked up 3 balls of yarn for £2. So it was like 150 grams. And I thought, well, that's only it cost me like £2.50. So I thought, well, £2.50 to give it a go, and give it a go again, meant that I wasn't really throwing a lot of money away. So I went on to I came onto YouTube and I flicked through and I found a video for little cute pumpkins. There we go, this is my first. I'll never get rid of these. There we go. And I found the pattern for the pumpkins, and so of course, because it was sort of coming up for Halloween, I started making those. And I think it was just a simple pumpkin pattern. I'll have to double check, and I will link the video either in the little pop-up thing up here, and it'll be in the it should be in the comment box below. So yeah, I made my pumpkin stack, and from that moment on I was hooked. I'd done my pumpkins, and then I moved on to snowmen, because it's one of my favourite films. So I haven't actually got a snowman to hand. I think I've got one in the cupboard. But yeah, so I think I've put pictures of the snowman up on a couple of my earlier videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link to my earlier videos that show you the work that I'd done for 2018, sorry, 2019. Now I did a little bit of a count up before I came on, so like to see how many items I'd actually made, because I didn't think there was as many as there was. It turns out in 2018, just in October, November and December, I'd made 82 items using 41 different patterns. Now those patterns were mainly on YouTube at that point. And then for January 2019 to January 2020, that's where it went crazy, because I had the 1,000 poppy challenge, which actually turned out to be 1,200 poppies. Right, so for January 2019 to the end of the year, I'd made 140 different items, used 58 different patterns, and made 1,200 poppies on top of that. Now I'd moved from the smaller items by this point onto the larger items, so more blankets and some, even some wearables, but of course I was still following other people's patterns, apart from one. Right, so this bit of the video has a little bit of a warning. If you're under 16, skip through to the next bit. I'll give the thumbs up when it's safe. Right, so this was my first pattern. Was made in, I think, February. Now by this point I'd made lots of round things because I'd made a lot of snowman heads. Now my husband had gone to get himself a brand new car, or new to us car. It wasn't brand new, it was seconds, but it was expensive. And it was quite a posh car for what we were used to, but he needed it because he does 180 miles a day round trip to get to and from work, so he needed something reliable. Well, he parks up his new Pride and Joy in the driveway, and I'm sitting there and I'm grinning away, and he was paying me no attention that night. He was in his office playing games and stuff. So for that night and a couple of nights I started creating. Now you know how new cars are meant to have fairy dice. Not from this house, not from me. I made him a set of boobies in a bra, and when it was finished I sneaked outside. Well, I nicked his keys, waited for him to go to bed, sneaked outside, and I hung the boobies in a bra onto his mirror in the car, locked it all up and came inside. Now he had to leave at like 5:30 in the morning, so I knew he wasn't going to wake me up or anything like that. But I woke up to a message from him basically going, "Thank you very much for my boobies in a bra. I've had to take them down. They're not safe to have up. My eyes just follow them." So now his boobies in a bra sitting in his office. He has them hanging up behind his computer. But I just thought, well, that was my first thing I'd physically created, and no, I won't be releasing the pattern because I didn't write it down. It was just an off the cuff make that, to be honest, looking at it now, it just looks like two round things with a bit of blue stuck, because I didn't have any other colour, so that extra bit had to be blue, so they were called boobies in a bra. And then the bra section was just a basic like a little basket, really, just like a basic basket with two handles that were sticking over, so it was a very, very basic pattern. But I could just imagine him standing there, sitting there in his car, driving along going, "They need to stop, they need to stop." Now within that same year, I also had a bit of a muck up with one of the patterns that I was following. Here's a little lesson for you. Don't skip the intro when they tell you what size it's going to be. If you've seen the pugs that I made, they are the size, they're about that, so they're about the size of an adult pug. Now the lady whose video tutorial I was following along with had actually said that at the beginning, and had said that you could go to the pet shop and buy clothes to fit your pug. They were that big. But of course there's me, not knowing much, skipping through that part of the video because I just wanted to get on with the pattern. And I also stupidly showed the mum who was going to be giving these to the child, like who were going to be receiving these on behalf of my little mate. She'd shown my little mate the pictures of these puppies that I'd sent her, and so the little mate was really excited that she was getting two little pugs, because of course I've said to the mum, "Oh, I think they're going to be between 7 and 10 inches." No, they weren't. They were adult size. Adult size. Of course, these things took forever to make, but I also learnt there that amigurumi didn't just have to be going round and round and round, because that pattern actually had panels for the head, so you sort of made squares and rectangles and tubular bits, and then you sewed them all together. And yes, that's why I hate sewing. Those things took ages to finally put together, because I'm so pedantic with how things look. I want them to look like the picture, basically. But yeah, they got sent. They actually went over to the family. Now they live in Portugal, and so I've got a really cute video of her opening them, but of course I'm not going to be sharing that on here because she's only a tot, and she's not my girl, she's just my adopted girl. So for this year, so far it's been a bit slow for me on makes, because by this point I would have already completed my 1,000 well, I had completed the 1,000 poppies last year, but of course I've put that down due to what's going on around the place, and I didn't want to run the risk of infecting any of them. But I've now got to the point where I'm going to make them, I'm bagging them up separately, and once it's gone over 2 weeks, well, a month, I'll know that those poppies are clear of any germs and lurgy. But getting back to my totals, my total for so far this year has been 64 individual pieces with 37 different patterns, and that's not counting the part works on this. This is counted as a whole, and so's the cushions. Right, so today I was looking through some of the comments on my videos. Now I've noticed that, or I did notice that I'd missed out some of your responses to my response, if that makes sense. So like you stick a message down, I respond to you and you respond back, and I've missed some. So I'm really sorry. I'm hoping I've got to you all now. And also on top of that, I've had some disgusting people come onto the channel, and in the comment they have just left a link to an adult site. I don't want that on my channel. So if you're watching this and you post it again, I'm blocking you. That's it, you're done, you're off the channel. Right, so that's the serious bit. But what I've also done is, as I was going through everything anyway, I've changed some settings within each video. So at the moment it means that one of the settings means that I'm going to have to accept each one of your messages. I know it's a bit more work, but it means then everything's safe that's being put on. Another thing I've done is I've also put on subtitles. Now I really haven't had a chance to watch any of the videos yet with subtitles on, and I'm hoping the subtitles are not too wayward. I hope that's the right phrase, because I would love for everybody to be included. So that's why my subtitles are on. If you spot any subtitles that come up that are not saying what I'm saying, pop them in the comments underneath the videos so that the rest of us can have a bit of a giggle at how bad the auto wording is for them. But the other thing that got me was when I was looking through for each video, I've had to go down a list and type and find the subtitle in UK English. Now I am so happy I'm not from Zimbabwe, say, because that's right down the bottom and it takes forever to find them. But then on the other one, does anyone fancy learning Welsh? It could be fun. Might just do a video just for the Welsh. Right. Right, now I know that most of us out there hate cold callers, but for me, my husband, my mum, we adore them. We love them phoning. We love it because we like to wind them up, and we like to keep them on the line as long as possible, solely so that they are not bugging anyone else. Oh, I got one of them calls today. Oh, it was brilliant. Right, so I've got my notes because I had to write it down because it just made me chuckle so much. Right, so the phone goes. Now, the only people that phone our home phone are cold callers. No one else. So of course there's me and my husband running for the phone trying to get to it. I got there first. So on this dodgy phone line comes this very strong accent, and the phrase and she says, "Hello, this is blah blah from Sky Technical." We don't have Sky. So of course I know straight away this is a fake call. So I says to her, "Can you repeat that please? This line is very vile." So she repeats it. And I go to her, "Can you repeat that again please? I didn't make out your name." So she repeats it again. "What company did you say you were for? This line is vile." To which she responds with, "No, it's your line that's vile," and hangs up. Okay, wasn't as good as the one that we had from the window people at my mum's. A window company phones up, my mum picks the phone up, and they say the company name and that they're a window company and that she needs new windows. To which my mum's response was, "No I don't." And they were like, yes you do. Your windows are over however many years old and they're starting to look a bit shabby and you need new ones. She went, "No I don't." And he's gone, "You do darling, you do." And she's gone, "No I don't." And he goes, "And why do you think you don't need new windows?" And she went very serious and she went, "Because I live in a tent," and put the phone down. Now that company had phoned my mum about 30 times over 2 weeks, and each time she'd asked them to remove her number from their call list, and they didn't bother. So with each phone call they were getting worse and her responses were getting stranger, but that was the one that I heard and that was the one that I found funny. So there was quite a bit of information about me in there and some really daft stories about things my mother does. I hope you like that one. Our next one up is yet another Whips, Bits and Chat Volume 5 Part 1. Okay, I can't remember why there is a Part 1 and a Part 2.B or whatever I'd written it down as. I will explain that in the middle in a bit once I've watched this one. So I will see you on the other end. Morning, evening, afternoon, my crazies. My name's Angela and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady. Right, so for today, I thought I'd come in and tell you yet another daft story that's happened to me today. Now, my husband had to get some new tyres and bits and pieces done to his car. So we dropped that off this morning and came whizzing back in mine. And then about an hour or so ago, he says to me, babe, the garage is finished. Can you give me a lift down? We've got 20 minutes to get there." So I chucked him the keys and off we went. So I've got my car back and I am only 20 yards away from Dunelm. So as he couldn't stop me, I've driven in, parked up, gone to run into Dunelm, and there's members of staff looking at me like, oh God, another one. Well, it turns out there was only about 2 minutes left until they closed the store. So I've gone to them, "Look, I know exactly what I want. I know where it is in the store. Can I just go and grab it?" They were like, yeah, go on, go for it. So I've speeded in, big fat grin on my face. I'm going yarn shopping. This is like the first time I've been out for anything other than food since lockdown. And I'm there and I've steamed around the store as best I could, avoiding everybody. Get up to the yarn and they've got next to nothing in. They've only got a small selection. It's only, what, 12 cubes, and that's about it, 12 to 14 cubes. So I'm there and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, they had some eyelash yarn. It was quite furry, looked quite nice. I thought I could use it for the amigurumi. So I grabbed one of each of those because they're only little diddy balls, and then I'm looking some more and I'm like, right, okay, nothing else is on special. Well, nothing that I wanted anyway. They had some Aran weight yarn that was meant to be on sale, but the amount I've got behind me, that's only one of each colour. I've got more balls in the drawers. So I thought, right, I'm not touching that. So I've looked down, there's some paint box, and I thought, oh, okay, I've seen it. I'm not too sure if I'm going to like the colour change on that because it's quite short. But I'll grab some, I'll make something small, and then if I don't like it, I'll just sell it on. Right, so I grabbed that, and then I grabbed one in the other colour. So I only had 5 balls, and I've frog marched my way up to the counter to pay. Stood there queuing for a few minutes. Managed to get in, put my stuff down. I'm super excited. I'm like, cool. And the bloke tills it up, and then he turns around, tells me how much it is, and I hand him over a £10 note. As I'm handing it to him, I said, don't panic, mate. I've disinfected it before I got it, put it in my bag. And he looked down, he looked at the money and went, I'm sorry, love, it's cash only. Guess who left a cash card at home? Me. Muggins. Hubby had given me that money and said to me, go yarn shopping. I have a feeling that he'd already checked all the shops to see that I couldn't spend it in any of them. He's an evil toe rag. But anyway, I thought I'd just pop on, tell you that, because hey, it's kept me chuckling all the way home, and then it made hubby chuckle when I got through the door and told him. So I'll speak to you all later. Ta-ra for now. Just a little heads up, this was in June 2020, and it was during that small little break we had between lockdowns. I remember it now. You'll like this next one. It's Whips, Bits and Chat volume 5.2. What happened with the rest of this story? Well, hello my crazies, good morning, good evening and good afternoon. My name's Angela and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady. And if you hadn't guessed, I've been shopping and I got it. Right, give me a second. I'm just going to get it out and get everything ready and I'll show you what I got. Right, so before I get on with the main part of the video, which is showing you the yarn up nice and close, I need to give you a warning. There are going to be 2 photographs. And for us yarn lovers out there, they're quite depressing photographs. They are photographs of how much yarn I have in 2 shops local to me, or within about 10 miles I suppose. So I'll be popping them on after I've shown you the yarn. Right, now let me just swap cameras and I'll show you what I got. Right, so here we are. The very first one is Peter Pan's Precious Chunky. Now this one is a 500 gram ball, so it's only DD. Don't get me wrong, it's cute. I just don't know how much I'm going to get out of it, but it's an eyelash yarn, so I thought that would be really cool for adding to our amigurumi, maybe for the hair or something. So I've got this one, and this is in the, there we go, in the shade Kiss. Oh my, how cute is that for a name? Then I've also picked up Duckling, and as well as that I've got Angel. Now those are really cute names. Now these are actually on special, so they were £3.25. now I checked the shelf and that's what the ticket price was normally anyway, and they've gone down to £1.62. so for me it was worth grabbing these, because of course I'm only going to use a small amount of it for the amigurumi, so these should last me quite a while. Okay, so the details on the eyelash yarn are mild machine wash at 30, do not iron, you can use cool tumble dryer. The needle size is 6.5mm or a US 10.5, but that's for knitting, so I'm not 100% on the crochet side of it. There is approximately 75 meters or 82 yards. It's 80% nylon, 20% polyester, and it's only a 50 gram ball. Right, so the next one up is the Robin paint box. Now, as I said to you in video number 1 of this too, I'm not too sure about the colour change, because it's really short for me. I like a longer colour change, but I'm going to see which one I fancy at a later point and make up something small, maybe a little huggy blanket or something. Right, so let's give you the details on these ones. Now these are 100 grams, 100% acrylic. There's approximately 300 meters or 328 yards. You can mild machine wash at 40, whatever that means, don't iron, and cool tumble dry. And of course the good old don't bleach. And they're saying to use 4mm knitting needles. So I'm sorry guys, I don't quite know what I need to convert that to as yet for hook size, but I'll probably play with the 4 because I like my 4. Right, so this shade lot is just a number, it's 1133. Now for the robin with this multiple bright colourway, the details are all the same on the back, apart from the shade number on there. This one is shade 189. Right, so of course, as I said, this is a DK, so there we go. It's not a bad little one, it's about the right size, same sort of thickness as the Aldi actually, so that would be good. I should be able to mix that up with one of them. I just checked the receipt. £3 for that paint box. If I'd have realised that in my excitement last night, I wouldn't have picked it up. Just because I've not used it before. I'm a tight-fisted toe rag, and I do actually prefer to pay under £2 for 100 grams, especially a DK, because in the UK we've got so much choice on the DK normally. But hey ho, needs must, and I got new yarn. Right, so I'm now going to put up an image. This is the warning from earlier on. If some things upset you when it comes to yarn, look away. Count to 10 and then no, just look away. But this is showing you how much yarn I had to choose from in Dunelm. Okay, so here I am in Dunelm. How depressing is this? There's that furry yarn. Right, and come over and we've got the robin in a couple of single colours, and we've got Wendy with wool yarn. They're the big 400 grams. Coming down again, some more robin, and then of course we've got the robin followed by the paint box. So I decided, as it was only a short walk from Dunelm to B&M, I thought, right, I'm going to go in there in the hopes that they've got something in there. Now, I've been in there before and their selection is minute. That's all I can say, it's minute. But then I've noticed that quite a lot of the shops that stock other things in my local area, their wool supply is minute as well. So what I will do at a later point is just put up a video labelled "How depressing is this?" and then I'll show you all of my local wool shop, not wool shops, but all my local shops where I can get wool from, and how little there is in each, like for selection wise. But as I was saying, I went into B&M, and on the way there nearly got run over. Basically I was trying to keep my distance from a queue, and so of course I've had to go into the road. Now there was cars parked because it is a car park directly outside, so as I've come off the path I've gone past one car, and I'm keeping an eye on each future car to make sure that the brake lights don't come on, or like the reverse lights come on. And all of a sudden I'm halfway past this car and it starts reversing. No lights. So if that was you, I'm really sorry. I did point to your lights and say, no lights, I'm okay, and are you okay? But the look on your face, you weren't too happy with me, put it like that. But yeah, check your lights. Well anyway, I popped into B&M, and a warning here, really depressing photo going up at the end of this section. Put it like this, I nearly got run over for nothing. I actually walked out of B&M with nothing in my hands. Nothing. It just, the selection, well, you'll see it in a second. Not good. Oh, sugar lumps. See, I did warn you. It's minute, isn't it? Right, well anyway,
that's about it for me for today.
Oh my gosh, I am so happy I left the flying bag in. I think that made that video a lot more fun, which of course is what I try to do with all of my videos, isn't it? Right, and yes, it is still quite bad in those two shops that I was showing you where the images were. There's even less to choose from now because I did a sneaky look in there the other day, or in both of them last week, because of course now my kid has to go to school, so I have to venture out. So I popped in to grab masks in one shop, and there was something else that I went to grab in, or pretend to grab in the other shop, because they've put freezers in. So of course I've managed to go into both of them to have a look, and the yarn, there's even less yarn in them now than what there was in those videos. And my local Hobby Lobby, which is like more, you need a second mortgage to enter it type shop, they're not even open yet. You can only order it online and do pick up probably from out back or something. But as you know, I'm not keen on that shop because I'm not keen on the overinflated prices for the same yarn we could get cheaper elsewhere. Talking about yarn that's quite cheap and cheerful and lovely, this is my very first yarn haul from a company called Good Vibe Yarn. Now I do love them. They do the papaya range and a couple of other ranges in there. I've pretty much brought out most of what they've had to offer, or I've managed to get it most of what they offer through the mystery boxes that they were doing. At this moment in time I don't have room for yarn, and so I haven't really been purchasing through them, but I still do like their prices for those items that they do. Okay, so and this next video is a yarn haul from goodvibeyarn.co.uk, and it was released on the 22nd of the 6th, 2020.
Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. Welcome back. My name's Angela and I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady. So today I got my order through from Good Vibes Yarn. Now I placed the order on, I think it was Thursday evening, so it was after the shops closed, and it has arrived today. Now today's only Tuesday, so that's only been 3 days from placing the order, because I count it as the Friday, ignore the weekend. So it's only been 3 days for the delivery. It is the fastest it's turned up ever for any of my deliveries. I am so stoked. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open the parcel slightly off camera for a moment, so there's not too much rustling, and then I'm going to show you what I've got, and then we'll go down to the normal camera so I can show you closer up, give you all your details and give you the pricing. Alright, so give me a second, I'm back in a mo. Nah, forget it, let's make noise. And use the worst pair of scissors going for it, okay? There we go. Right, so, ooh, let's bring that down a bit lower. Okay, so my first ones out are Dreamcatcher by Stylecraft. Okay, and that's the colourway there. Okay, so I've got one of those. Just put that there. I've got 2 of those. And then, oh wow, that's cute. Oh, I like. Oh, I like. Now this one, how cool are the colours on that? Beautiful blues. That one's the papaya cake in silver. There we go. And I know I am mullering the name. I will get it one day. I think it sounds so cute said like that. But anyway. Okay, now this one is a cotton, and it's the McLeana Bobble. I'm going to say Bobble, otherwise I'm going to end up milling it and saying something completely different. Now I've got 2 of these because these cakes you can either get wound in 2 different ways. Now the content of the yarn and the colours are exactly the same according to their information. It's just that you've got your pull tab here. Okay, I'll do it that way so you can see the colourway a bit better. So that is one of them, and then say that one's A, and then the colourway for the bee is exactly the same but reversed. So it means then when you're pulling from your centre, your projects are going to match. How cool! Right, so I've got 2 of those. Oh. So those are my cottons. Now they've got an amazing amount of yardage on them ones. Oh, up the other way, Ange. There we go. I did go a bit crazy. Right, so my next one, okay, is Yarn Art Flowers. There we go, and again it's in a blue mottled colourway, and I'll give you all the details for those in that one in a moment. That one can go in there. Oh my god, these are so cute! Oh wow, they are really cute. Okay, now these ones are the Papaya Sundays. Okay, there we go. How cute are the colourways on that one? These are Diddy. It doesn't look like a lot, but there is actually 350 yards in these. Wow. So we'll pop that there, that one there. I forgot I've got these ones. Now I've always only really used DK yarns and acrylic yarns. I've not sort of ventured out of my safe zone too much. I have used a bit of wool, but that made my hands itch. So I picked up this one. I'm sorry, it's because I like the colourway. It is that simple. But this one is an Angora. So I'm hoping that this one's not going to be too itchy. Look at that one. Look at the colourway on the bottom of there. They're really, they are pastels. Really like. We've got some pinks and some blues in there. Now of course it's pointless buying one, you can't really make much with one, so I've got 2. Right, let's pop that one back there as well. Oh. So of course with this order it was a case of me wanting to finally get round to trying different types of yarns. So I've got some cottons in there, I've got my old faithful acrylics, and then of course I've got this one, the Angora. Right, so last out the bag, I have ideas for this one, but you know what happens with my ideas, they always change, don't they? So we've got my old faithful, I've got my Baltic. Now this colourway was on special, so I have actually got 4 of these, and as I said, I'll give you the pricing in a moment when we go to the other camera. Yeah, so it's a bit brighter than the one I've got on my, well, the 2 that I've got on my shelf. I've got the, hold on, let's move out the way. We've got them just there, the greys, and then the other colourway just above, but I can't remember the names of those ones for the minute. I'll see if I can remember them later and stick them in the caption below me. Right, so let's move over to the other camera, and then I can give you all the details and the prices and everything. Right, so I am going to cheat a bit on this. I'm going to actually read what they've got written on the website, because that way I am not going to be mucking up what anything is. Now, this has got a wicked little pull start from the front here, which is ideal. Now, this one is the blue, white, grey Yarn Art Flowers. The number is 251. It's a gradient cotton mix, and there's 250 grams. Now, the cake contains 1000 meters of yarn, which makes it slightly thicker than a 4-ply, but slightly thinner than a DK. Now, it can be used for patterns that call for either of these weights. It's 45% acrylic and 55% cotton. Now, the strand is pulled, twisted, and it changes from 1 strand at a time for a gradual gradient colour change. Yay, I managed it. Now, I think this colourway is gorgeous. So there we go. That's it there. So there's all the written details for you there. Okay. Now with this one, right, so excuse the shakiness. Oh, crikey. There we go. So it is a 2.5mm or a US2 on the needles, but a 3mm or a C2 on the hooks, and it's a superfine 1. I've not worked with a superfine 1. This is going to be fun. There we go. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so up next we have got the Macleana bobble. Now this one is the pink grey ash number 1, and this is the pink grey ash number 2. Now both of these are 200 grams of 4-ply with 750 meters of cotton / acrylic mix yarn cake. Now these are £10 each, but for the amount of yardage you're getting, that's a really good deal. Okay, so I've already told you the mix. So now these are made in Germany. They are a wash at 40, do not tumble dry. Looks like you can iron them, but I wouldn't. Okay, so I'm sorry I can't read you the rest of that, it's in Deutsch. Okay, so next up we have the Dreamcatcher by Stylecraft. Now this colourway is Apache. I've probably said that, completely mullered that. Right, it is 150 grams. They stock it in 3 colours, but at the moment they've only got 2 available. It's a 90% acrylic, 10% wool. Right, so the composition is 90% premium acrylic, 10% wool. It's 150 grams and it's 435 meters or 476 yards. They say to use a size 4mm needle. Now you can machine wash this at 30 degrees, cool tumble dry and cool iron, and you can dry clean it. So there's the details there for you, and that's the name. So I've attempted it. It's Apache. I'm hoping I got that right. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this is the Papaya Sundae baby cake. It's 100 grams and it's 100% acrylic yarn in a DK. Now these are priced at $2.99 each. They've not got many of them left available, so if you really like them, get in there and get in there quick. It's a gorgeous colour gradient yarn cake. It's designed to mimic cotton as it has a lovely sheen. There is 320 meters per ball. Now they say it works up like an 8-4 cotton. I don't understand the cotton measurements yet. Now it's a machine washable at 30, and they recommend anything between a 3mm and a 5mm hook. Okay, so let's bring that up and try and focus in. There we go, so there's the bits for you. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here we have the Papaya Cake Silver. There we go. Now these are normally priced at $6.99, but at the moment you get a 32% saving, so it brings the price down to $4.75. Now these are from the original Mandela factory and they're made in Turkey. They've got a stunning long colour change, and the cakes are great because you can see the colour order in the way it will look in your project. Now this one's got the sparkle that runs through it, and it's a complementary colour. Now this one's a silver and I really quite like it. Now this is, let's get there, 150 grams, 540 meters or 590 yards. It's 95% acrylic and 5% polyester. It's a wash at 30 and the standard do not iron, do not tumble dry and lay flat to dry, and they recommend a 4mm hook. It is a 3 light DK. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Right, so this one is the Bright Rainbow Gradient. This Papaya Baltic. It's 100 grams and it is an acrylic DK wool ball. There we go. Really beautiful colours in there. Now the Baltic range normally is priced at £2.50 to £3. Now the £3 ones are normally the ones that have got the sparkle running through them. Now at the moment they've got this colourway on for £1.50. So I think that's a brilliant little deal to get you in. Now there is 360 metres in this ball. Let's turn it all around so you can have a nose. Okay, there's your colour in the lot number. I'm cheating today, aren't I? Right, so as I said, we've got 100 grams and it is 360 metres or 393 yards. It's 100% acrylic and machine washable. Oh, you've got a QR code with a pattern. Might have to try that. Now it's a 3-weight yarn. And it's a wash at 30, do not tumble dry. So they're recommending here anything between a 3 and a 5mm hook. Okay, so as I said, beautiful colours there. Oh good, the light's fixing. Right, let's move on to the next one. Right, so this is actually the last one. It is the Papaya Angora. Now they say it's a stunning Angora yarn effect for floaty shawls, scarves, ponchos or cobweb blankets. It's 80% acrylic, 10% mohair, 10% merino wool. It's a fingering sock heavy lace weight. It's a 1. Oh, so you can see that is really thin. Okay, now there is 550 metres or 600 yards per 100 gram ball. It's machine washable at 30, but don't tumble dry it. Oh no, you can tumble dry on a low. Okay, the recommended hook or needle size is between 2 and 4mm. Now I can't show you all of it. I'm going to show you some of it. There we go. But I don't really want to take the label out or anything at the moment. Sorry, I'm a bit funny with my labels. If I lose them, I'll forget what the directions are. So there we go. Just move up to the main camera.
Okay, I'm pretty impressed with myself. I didn't think I'd actually used a lot of any of my orders, but from that order I have used the Apachio. I still can't say it correctly. I have used the little papaya sundaes. They turned into that top. Ooh. Yeah, they've turned into this top. Okay, I've still got the sleeve to finish, but I'll get to it before I wear it this summer. And the Apachios are the jumper that I've made recently that I'm actually in the process of extending and adding the pockets to, and then that one will be done. What else have I used? The flower art. I've used some of that. I was trying to make a top with it, but the written pattern isn't correct, and that was in a proper book, not even a magazine. So I'm going to have to revisit that and try and rework that to work out where I've gone wrong or where the pattern's gone wrong, because the pattern count does not match the stitch count. I just can't be bothered with that one at the moment, so that's in a drawer hidden away, forgotten about. So yeah, I've used those ones, and if you can see behind me, you've still got the sparkly blue cake, and then over this side we've still got the whatchamacallit ones, and up on the top shelf is where those fluffy ones are. So I don't think I've done too bad really. Oh, and I've also used that one of the Papaya Baltics, the Brights. It's taken me a long time because I've tried a lot of different patterns using that, because it's got quite a short colour change for me and I'm not overly keen. So I think I made a blanket with it to show you a stitch that you really can't see when I've made it, which is a shame. But I've also made some hats, which I'll be showing you on Sunday's Whips and Bits and Chat, because I think you're going to find them quite funny when I show you the images. Oh crikey, we're over the hour mark. I am so sorry. Right, I'm going to head off now, and I will see you all on Sunday. So if you can, please stay in and definitely stay safe. Ta-ra for now, everyone.